Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Obviously, the past couple of weeks has been jam-packed full of announcements and various reveals for Modern Warfare 3. And coming up here in the not-so-distant future, we're actually all going to get hands-on during the first official beta period for it, starting on October 6th. But leading up to that, I wanted to break down a handful of things that I'm hoping to see changed or updated for MW3, sort of like my wish list if you want to call it that, but basically some points of emphasis for gameplay and things that I'm hoping Sledgehammer really focuses in on. So as we go through the list, if you guys agree with the things that I'm bringing up, do me a favor, drop a like on the video, help share it around. It does get more eyes on the actual topics here today, and ideally we can make that positive impact on the game, which is always the goal with this style of content. And if you guys enjoy it, you want to guarantee you're always up to date with everything going on in COD, be sure to hit that subscribe button as well. I got you guys covered every single day with the latest news, updates, reveals, announcements. It's all right here. But getting into this, we're kind of going to jump all over the place. Keep in mind, this is multiplayer oriented mainly with this stuff. But the first thing I would love to see return here that we haven't had for a bit is customizable reticles that you can actually unlock. Obviously, this was a big thing like back in Warzone 1, having the T-pose on your VLK 3 times or having the blue dot hollow sight, right? And then they saw that everyone really liked those reticles and they said, you know what, actually, let's take away the grinds. Let's put those unlocks in store bundles, which is obviously pretty annoying to say the least, right? So I'd love to be able to get back to actually grinding to unlock certain reticles for certain scopes. That way we actually have something outside of just a camo grind to play for and to grind for. And speaking of camo grinds, that's another thing I'd love to see return in a more improved way, I guess you could say. Long-term camo grinds is something I'd like to see back, almost similar to like Obsidian from MW 2019. We know for a fact already we are going to have a mastery camo grind for the MW3 weapons this year, and I imagine that within the zombies mode as well, there's going to be some kind of camo challenges there, which would be cool to see. But ultimately, I'd love to see something like maybe if you do all the multiplayer camo challenges and get that mastery camo, and then you do all the zombies mastery camo challenges, and then if you complete each of those, you get like a new camo grind unlocked, or you get a new camo unlocked that's like the ultimate max reward or something like that. I think that'd be cool to see. Another thing that I would really enjoy back is a worthwhile prestige system. Really, ever since MW 2019 and the seasonal ranks became a thing, leveling in the game outside of the initial like 55 base levels to unlock your guns hasn't really meant anything. You know, you go back to the old days of COD where you prestige, you lose everything, you got to rank it back up. I don't feel like we necessarily need to go all in on that, like relocking all your weapons and everything, but it would be cool to actually have more meaning behind prestiging, at least to some capacity. Maybe you get certain rewards for every single prestige that you hit. I feel like Infinite Warfare did that really well, where there were cool unlocks available for really actually going through and leveling up a ton throughout the years. So a prestige system that actually has some meaning to it would be nice to see, since the stuff that we have now is just like random one-off blueprints and then like the emblems for prestiging and whatnot. Focusing a bit more back on gameplay here, for multiplayer, squad spawns gotta go. This is a system that just is not ideal for really anything. It's an awkward system. It doesn't play all that well, in my opinion, compared to a traditional spawn system. I mean, every single year the spawns are a controversial topic regardless. Sledgehammer's kind of been all over it in the past. Like, they've had some great maps that have good spawns. They've had some games that generally don't have great spawns. They've had some games that do generally have good spawns. I'm hoping that they continue to build off of what they've done in the past with some of their titles and adjusting the spawns accordingly. This next one is a big one, and I really truly hope we see it in full this year. Detailed weapon stats. I'm so tired of booting up the gunsmith, and when you go to see, okay, should I use this barrel or that barrel or this suppressor or this compensator? What do they tell you? Oh, increased recoil control and decreased stability or decreased ADS speed. And you're like, I wonder how much ADS speed I'm losing there. Oh, the speed or mobility bar is, being taken down by 1/17 of the total bar. They're so inaccurate. The stats on the bars mean absolutely nothing, and the weapons themselves, you have to basically go through and manually test and do very, very tedious stuff to figure out what attachment's doing what, or you have to wait for someone like sim.gg to go through and data mine everything. I don't feel like we should need third-party stats to go into the game files and data mine everything. just to see, okay, this attachment is increasing my range by 5% and hurting my ADS speed by, 1.5 milliseconds or whatever, right? That just seems ridiculous. So detailed weapon stats available in-game where you can go into the menu and see exactly what's happening would be phenomenal. We've seen it a couple of times, and for whatever reason, it's not something that's continued on year over year. And I think that's something that literally helps everyone. The top tier players and even the more casual players, it's just transparent information. And that's fantastic. And this is another segue that I promise I didn't intentionally do. But speaking of transparency, transparent communication throughout the post-launch year. Every single year with COD, the launch window is always super transparent and super open with their comms. They're always tweeting about new issues. They're always posting, very frequent updates at all times of the day. The first month and a half or so are always great. And then it gets quieter and quieter and quieter and quieter every single season, basically, unless there's like some major issue where the game was like unplayable, right? I want that consistent communication every season, constantly. It's just better for the player base all around. The more transparent Sledgehammer and Raven and all the devs are, the better. Everyone wins there. Next up, we sort of talked about this in a video a couple of days back, but a big mistake that I feel like Call of Duty's made over the past couple of years is forcing Warzone and multiplayer to be as seamless as possible. And that's why for gameplay this year, I would love to just see Warzone gameplay catered for Warzone gameplay and multiplayer gameplay catered for multiplayer gameplay. Keep them separate, keep them directed towards their core mechanics and whatnot, and then each mode is going to be able to thrive more. Multiplayer shouldn't take a back seat because of Warzone. I would say the other way around as well, but that doesn't really happen. Multiplayer never takes the priority over Warzone, it seems like. But having each mode with different gameplay dedicated to that mode would be nice to see. Now, something that is sort of like an umbrella over everything in MW3, not just multiplayer, servers and stability. It's been a huge problem throughout MW2 and Warzone so far this year. The servers are just trash. I mean, the COD servers have been trash for a long time. They should follow up like with other games and what they're doing. Increasing the server tick rate, like Counter-Strike, just up that stuff a ton for CS2. Having stable servers should be like the #1 priority, because it doesn't matter how cool your content is, how many updates you're putting out, how cool your weapon blueprints and stuff are. If you jump into a game and you're playing a Microsoft PowerPoint or a flipbook because the server is lagging, or within 5 minutes you're disconnecting from, the Blizzard servers and being sent back to the main menu. Not being able to physically play the game because of server instability is obviously going to draw away from everything you actually have in your game, so that should be atop the priority list for sure. Consistent servers and stable servers every single update. Not they drastically get worse, and then one update slightly fixes it, but then the next update breaks it again. Going back to a bit more gameplay stuff here, specialist bonus. Give it to me again. I loved this every single time it's been implemented into Call of Duty. MW3 specialist bonus was phenomenal. And this is a game titled MW3. I'm personally probably not expecting this because they obviously are doing like the new perk system with the gear and whatnot, but man, it would be so cool to have specialist bonus back and have that sort of super soldier style gameplay where you go on like a 9 streak or whatever, and then you unlock every perk in the game. Would be a ton of fun and a nice change of pace from the traditional score streak or kill streak system. Then lastly, they've already sort of confirmed that this is going to be a thing, but I want them to follow through with it. Ricochet upgrades. In one of their previews for like, hey, things coming with MW3, more upgrades for Ricochet. We've seen this quote of, we've upgraded Ricochet, or we got more updates coming to Ricochet, and then it seems like things are okay for a bit, and then it just deteriorates yet again. True, meaningful updates to the Ricochet system. This means better, protection against general blatant cheaters, but also more updates to stop the stupid shadow ban loops that affect very legitimate players. So many casual players get shadow banned and then get stuck in a shadow ban loop because somebody's angry that they got trashed and spam report them. It's such a broken system. Some of shadow bans are deserved. There are players who are absolutely being toxic or being stupid in game that deserve to get reported and then shadow bans. There's also a ton of innocent players falling victim to the spam reporting system as well. So that's something that is directly tied to Ricochet that also needs updated. I've said it before though, I feel like MW3 does have a lot of potential based on what we've been told about so far and what's been revealed. Truly, you can't make any opinions until we've got our hands on the game with the beta, then ultimately launch as well. But hopefully this video can help make a positive impact. If anyone from Sledgehammer or Call of Duty or Raven or whoever is watching this, maybe they get some ideas from here. Maybe they focus on a few extra things because of it. If you want to share the video around, do me a favor, drop a like on it. It is seriously appreciated. And if you enjoyed, you want to guarantee you're always up to date with all other things going on in COD on a daily basis, be sure to hit that subscribe button on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy. Have an awesome rest of your day. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.